Okay, friends, today we are going to practice drawing gems using the line path tool in Sketch.io. So the line path tool is under your drawing tools. It's down towards the bottom. Path, you can turn and curve. Lines are straight. So we're going to use the line tool. Now with this, we're not going to draw. We are just going to click and then line up where we want our lines. Right now I have 100% opacity with a white color at 2 pixels line width. So I'm going to draw a diamond, and a diamond, click. Let's try to straighten this out a bit. It's all right if it's crooked. Click. Okay, a diamond has a short side and then it's kind of long, and I want to line it up with where the center is the best that I can. Click. Then try to line this up with the other side. It kind of comes out a little farther. Click. And then when you click on it, that final point, it'll say close path. And then you can click the check mark. Now we're going to add some of the center lines. So I'm just going to click across from this point to this point. Yeah, now you can see how it's a little crooked. That's fine. And close, check. Then it goes from this point to the bottom. Click, close, finish editing. Same on this side. You have a lot of symmetry. Symmetry means it looks the same on both sides. And then we are going to add a triangle shape right here in the center. So I'm going to start with this one, try to find the middle, and close it out here. Boom, we have our diamond. Okay, so now that we have our gem, and you can do any gem shape you want, you can search online, easy drawing guides, or how to draw gems, or how to draw crystals. Now it's time to start coloring it and adding some lights, okay? Now gems refract, they refract light on the inside. So I'm going to switch this back to a paintbrush tool. And I think I'm going to start with pink. Let's make a pink one. Now remember, we started those lines at 2 pixels, and this is 40. So that's too big. So we're going to bring this way down to about 3. Somewhere close to 3. That's good enough. And the blur, it's hard to see, but the blur makes it, see how it's not like solid? Yeah. So the blur is actually good for us because it makes it so that it's not totally opaque. Like the edges of the paintbrush tool have some transparency. Now, once we're finished coloring, I'm going to group all of my paintbrush and drag it under all of my lines. And you can actually do this now if you want to. You can hold Shift and click on all of the lines. Oops. Oh, that's fine. I could have done that for 2 separate gems, but that's fine. And then click Group. And then it'll be so much easier. We can group our paintbrush and just drag it under this group so that the white will stand out. Okay, I'm going to go back to my paintbrush tool. All right, so I want to make sure that I'm adding the same color on 2 sides. So I'm just going to color in 2 sides with this light pink. Okay. And I just use the pre-made color so that I don't have to figure out what color I used later on. Okay, get pretty close to those edges. Good. And then switch to a slightly darker color. And you can do this with any of these. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing where I'm coloring at a diagonal. So I'm going to fill in this whole little shape, this little polygon shape down here. Fill this whole shape in just like I did before. Yay. And do that on this side. Okay. Now, when you start once we've colored in all of these shapes with different colors, then we're going to drop the transparency, drop our opacity, right? And start adding some highlights and shading. All right, so one more down. Here we go. Color in this one across from each other. So basically what this does is it's showing us that the colors, right? The light is coming from here, but that doesn't mean the shadow comes on this side exactly, because I mean, it will, and I'll show you how that works, but it's bouncing inside of this gem, inside of this crystal. And that's why we get these different colors, these different shades. Now, we're just making sure that we're coloring on opposite sides, right? The same color, but we're adding different colors. Now for the center one, I'm going to go light, but I'm actually going to make it brighter a little bit. And then, yep. Actually, I don't like that. I'm going to go with this one. We'll bring this luminosity back up. Okay, I'm going to start with that last color that we did, because I am going to add a whole bunch of highlights on top of this, and I just really want to color it in. Get messy with it. Okay, now I'm going to go back to that light pink. Drop my opacity down to probably, let's start with 40%, and click enter on your keyboard. And we're going to add light right up to this edge. So you can't see it because it's not opaque, right? Excuse me. So we're just going to add a little bit just on like those 3 sides. Okay. And then I'm going to take this color, the darkest one that we used. I can't remember which one right now at this moment, but close enough. And I'm just going to add it on these 2 sides, maybe 3 sides. Okay. And you're just going to go and do this same kind of thing, where you're just going to add just a little bit of highlight on like a corner, on a corner, on a corner. Just pick one corner, and it's going to make it look as if, oh, that's the same one. The light is bouncing inside. So I'm only picking like one point and coloring 2 sides. And I'm really only coloring on those 2 sides. And remember, my opacity is turned way down. It's on 40%. I'm going to go back up to that darker color that we used, and I'm going to add just a little bit on one side. Okay, just one side. Make it a little bit darker. See how it's already starting to look like a gem? And I haven't even spent that much time coloring it. I could have zoomed in more, right? And I'm actually just going to add just a little bit down here at this bottom, as if it bounced back, just like on this side. See? Okay. Isn't that so cool? So we're going to keep practicing this, and I'm going to pause and color this diamond in blue. Actually, yep, I'm going to pause. Hold on. Okay, so here's what I did so far. I used this very light blue on these top 2 triangles, and then all the way down here at the bottom, and I just kind of colored it all. And then I used the very next blue down to color in these 3 triangles, and then add a little bit more color here. And if you guessed it, I'm going to go up 1 shade darker and finish coloring in this whole thing. So I guess I can turn up my line width for this part so I can speed it up just a bit. Speed it up, Miss Anderson. You're going too slow. Okay, get all the way over there. Awesome. Okay, bring this back down to a 3. Close to a 3. Close enough. So the same thing. I'm going to turn my opacity down to 40%. I'm going to change my line width. I'm going to actually bring this down a little bit more. And you're just going to pick one side for the dark. Okay, so I'm going to do dark here, dark here. And then you're going to pick the lighter shade that you used. And you're going to do one side, maybe two in the middle, one side. And then you're just going to color in maybe just a little bit in the middle of these. Sweet, that's awesome. And for diamonds, I like to throw in some white. So we're going to keep that down there, and I'm just going to go, let me look at a picture real quick. Yep. I'm just going to add a little bit of a white highlight towards the top on this one, a little bit of white towards the top on this one, a little bit of the top of this triangle. So it just looks like the light's kind of shining right through the top here. And maybe add a little line through the middle. Remember, it's hard to see because add a little bit, just a little glow right in the center. All right, now you're going to click, and it might be easier if you just hold shift on the Chromebook. See, it didn't do it for me. Click all of these paintbrush layers, and I'll group those, drag it, oh my goodness, drag it under this group. Do that same thing, shift, click, 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 clickety, click, click, clack, click, group, drag this, oh my goodness, drag, click, drag it down. I just want to drag it down, you guys. There we go. Underneath. So now we have that nice white line on the top. Do the same thing until you don't see any more of these paintbrushes, and all you have are groups. Click, 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 group. Okay, I'm going to just start over. Oh my goodness. Click, click it. Drag it down. Shift, oopsies. Shift, click, click. I'm holding shift on my keyboard. Hold shift. Group. Click the side, I think, and then, oh my goodness, click the side, drag it down. There we go. Beautiful. I love it. You can do this too. Have fun, you guys. I can't wait to see your gems.